Good morning, Trains Nation. Today is Friday, March 3rd, 2017. We're glad you could join us for another episode of Video Trains Newswire. I'm Steve Sweeney.
I'm Brian Schmidt.
And we got some news stories to talk about. Now, Brian, one thing that Jim likes to talk about every time that we come on, or almost every time that we come on, are how many stories are live on Newswire right now as we're taping. And that is 39 stories.
Dang.
9 exclusives and 2 videos that are on Newswire. And that's kind of something. What you'll see different is if you go on Newswire and you'll see down news exclusives are red with white letters, and now videos are blue flags with white letters. So it's kind of cool. If you want to pick out all the videos, go down the list on Newswire and see, oh, video, and go click on it, you'll see a video.
Just making it easier for them to find what they need to find.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Customer service par excellence. So, because we have so many exclusives, and there are more exclusives coming on later this afternoon once we get a few of them in, I just wanted to highlight only exclusive stories on my list, if that's okay with you.
Okay, you go for it.
All right, cool. All right. So, first thing, really kind of a sad story. Indiana Transportation Museum, outside of Indianapolis, broadly speaking. One of the local towns, one local cities that owns part of the right-of-way is now talking about turning part of the railroad that the Indiana Museum of Transportation runs on into a trail. And they want to exclude it. It's like, I think it's almost 9.5 miles out of 37 they want to turn into a trail, which is really sad. Last year, Indiana Transportation Museum was in a big kerfuffle with its oversight board about what maintenance should be there. Maybe there were financial problems, maybe there weren't. It's just, they haven't run trains in at least a year. And now this, it's sad, I think.
And I believe where the trail is projected to go, I know our readers will correct us if this isn't the case.
Absolutely, yeah.
But where the trail is projected to go will go by where the museum, the equipment sits now, so it would effectively landlock it, and it wouldn't be a railway out for any of the museum equipment.
Yeah. Which makes it sad. So, they would landlock it. Now, the museum has come back and said that that they're willing to negotiate. They want to somehow find a way for the railroad or the railroad museum to share a trail or share a right-of-way with trail users. Maybe they can do some kind of rail and trail project. I hope that comes to pass. But you can see the full story on Trains Newswire from earlier this week. Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus, their parent company, Feld Entertainment, announced earlier this week that they are going to be auctioning off, well, I shouldn't say auctioning off, they're going to be selling, they're receiving bids, they're taking bids, that's the right phrase, they're taking bids for the 120-some passenger cars and assorted freight cars that they have in their fleet to take the circus around. So do you think Jim will let us buy one for trains?
I would be afraid of that because he would want us to get a bunk car so we would never have to go home. We'd just leave it out back. And I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, and then we'd take road trips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Railroad trips.
Railroad trips.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So anyway, check Newswire for that. The deadline is March 10th, but you can find out all the details on the cars and where to place a bid. Okay, I'm hogging up all the time. What's piqued your interest so far this week?
One story I thought was interesting is Operation Lifesaver is going to sponsor a National Rail Safety Week. I guess it hasn't been done before. This coming September. You can get the further information, of course, on Newswire. So I thought that was...
Yeah, that's very nice. And I think that's something, too, we haven't had National Train Day sponsored by Amtrak in at least a year or two, and this might take the place of it.
It could be something, yes, it certainly could be something bigger as we get national involvement here. Another item I thought was interesting is, of course, the Hoosier State transitioned back to Amtrak this week.
Yes.
Rotaries came out on Downer Pass in the past week.
They did. We've got photos of that on Newswire.
And another little story that piqued my interest was West Virginia. The railroaders and I guess through some of the unions down there are calling for lessened restrictions on who can move railroad crews around. Right now you have to be a certified official taxi service, which some of these national crew hauling companies are not. They're transportation companies, but they're not considered to be a taxi service. So right now, if you're going to ride in a taxi, what they call a crew taxi, it's an actual taxi in West Virginia, and some of the railroaders want to see that option broadened a little bit. They say it's a safety issue.
Say it's a safety issue, probably comfort issue too, and probably a convenience issue.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we saw that details that on Newswire. I want to get your thought on some UP Mother Slug sets that are coming up. We got a photo of that in a story. Metro East Industries has been contracted to make more Mother Slugs, and I thought, mean, I hadn't seen a lot of them lately. I thought hump yards were going the way of the dinosaur. I mean, with what Hunter Harrison's been trying to do and CN, I mean, I just thought we're going to get rid of them altogether, and you know, the last Jeep 38s that were in service were just going to die in that service.
I don't think slugs though are limited to because there's road slugs and there's yard slugs.
Well, it's true. Yeah, that's right. These are going to be yard slugs.
They are going to be yard slugs. CSX still uses a bunch of road slugs built from Jeep 35s and Jeep 30s on the road. They haven't made it to Jeep 40s, and they put them on a lot of locals.
Yeah.
So, but these are yard slugs. That is interesting to see new ones coming up.
Yeah. There's going to be looks like a few dozen coming up here in the next year between now and 2018. So that's kind of interesting. IWill Pacific. We talked about the Hoosier State.
Yeah.
IWill Pacific is also getting sued in the state of Colorado. Details are just coming out. We're reading the filings, but Rail Events Incorporated. These are the guys. Rail Events are the guys that own the rights to the Polar Express trains that you see around the country. They sell licenses or sub-licenses to other organizations and railroads. One of those is IWill Pacific, and there's a claim that IWill Pacific owes $3 million to Rail Events. We're just reading the latest filings in that case, and IWill Pacific is counterclaiming that there are some business practices that they didn't agree with or that were unjust or unfair. So that's why they're withholding a certain amount of money. But it's all up in the air. It's all in lawsuits tied up in Durango, Colorado. What a great place too. I hope if this goes to trial at some point that one of us gets picked to go cover it, because that would be fun. I mean, there's a Durango in Silverton. Oh, let's take the weekend and go down to Chama. And
could you sit in the courtroom all day though, taking notes and listening and reporting and hearing all these whistles go by outside? Wouldn't that be just a little distracting?
You know, it would be.
Yeah.
It would be. But you know, if I were chosen, I would take one for the team.
Yeah.
I definitely would. Another one, odd one, high-speed rail in the United Kingdom. I don't know if you saw this one. We got this. I think we got this from Keith Fender.
An extension, right?
An extension. Well, HS2. Okay, I know. Okay, yes, UK, yes, Europe. But HS2, high-speed 2 in the UK, they're going to go from London to Birmingham in England. Birmingham?
Yes, one of those two.
One of those
correct.
two.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool because they had high speed through the Channel Tunnel to London.
That was HS1.
That was HS1, and now they're going to do HS2. The Queen ascended to it or approved it. She rubber stamped whatever Parliament said, which is kind of cool, you know, because we still don't have high speed, true high speed in the United States. We have the Northeast Corridor, which goes faster than others, but interesting. So see that on Newswire. All those were exclusives. And then last one, not an exclusive, but kind of cool. Brian, are you up on your musicals?
La La Land is a new one, I think. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
That's what I'm talking about. I guess I'm going to have to see it now because it didn't win Best Picture, but they did feature a funicular railway. And I didn't know this, but we have a story on it. They featured a funicular railway in Los Angeles. And it turns out that funicular, the Angels flight in a certain section of LA, is going to be restored and back in service this year after many, many years. It's unclear how many years it's been out of service completely. But they're going to restore it, bring it back so that people can ride up and down the incline, which is kind of cool.
That's funny you said that. I heard La La Land did win Best Picture, so
dear, there was an accounting problem. Fake news.
Yes,
fake news.
Something like that.
Yeah, which you will never see on Trains Newswire. We only have real news that we have vetted and read and edited and spell checked and have made sure that it is rail friendly. So either rail industry or rail fan, we make sure that at least we're interested in it so that you should at least have a shot at being interested.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Anyway, we got a lot more stories to get out. We got more videos to get out. Keep checking back with Newswire. For everyone at Trains, have a great weekend.
The drama of modern railroading is nowhere more apparent than in Chicago. Trains Magazine takes you along for an up-to-date look at the Windy City's railroad scene with its new 60-minute DVD and special issue, Chicago, America's Railroad Capital. You will see today's passenger and freight operations in urban landscapes and bright suburban locations, as well as a look at the development of the city's rail network. Both are available January 2017 at KalmbachHobbyStore.com.